A history maker, but not yet a record breaker. Seth Quintero celebrates winning 10 stages in a single Dakar.
Got it. That's what I'm talking about. Woo! Woo!
In the bikes, it's bye-bye Benavides. Van Beveren is back on top with 2 to go, but it's far from over.
Welcome to Dakar 2022. Penultimate stage of the rally. And anything can still happen in the outstanding landscapes of southern Saudi Arabia.
It's a new challenge. It offers a completely new vision.
After years riding a bike and then driving a car on the Dakar, Andrea Peter-Hansel has taken her expertise to the Yamaha factory team as its new sports manager.
My function in the team is everything which is about the sporty regulations, and we are making day by day the good strategy by each pilot, depending the special stages, depending the lengths, depending the starting positions. We recheck the weather, stuff like this, just looking what is their needs and what I can do for them. We had a first briefing with the mechanics, just talking about the bike, what was during the day, and also the first impressions. Mostly it's about navigation, questions of the road book or remarks from the riders.
Regarde.
Il reste à 140.
Et à 250, il va tourner vers un 215 pendant 850 mètres.
Andrea has a lot of experience. She has that Peter Hansel feeling thanks to Stéphane. She's therefore here to perform, and we feel she wants to win. She's laid back. She supports us psychologically. It's in that role that she has a lot of importance.
I will go to the briefing, collect again the informations, prepare them for the next morning.
For Andrew Short, it was a complicated first sector.
And then I go to sleep. We wake up very early. I nearly forgot how early it is on the bike, but mostly we wake up around 4. I go to visit them just to make a rebrief of the evening's briefing.
And after you have difficult navigation. It's in the mountains. You have different wadis. Sometimes you have several in parallel. The only thing that will save you is to manage a good navigation, like you know, based on kilometers and heading.
We have 3 pilots which are really different one from another, with different qualities, with different needs, so we trust each other. This relationship is, it's based on trust in each other.
She's definitely our team mom. When we do something wrong, we get into trouble. When we do something wrong, right, we get congratulated, you know. So she's the best team mom we could ask for.
We start to talk like this, so mommy said, you need to do this, and so we are joking about it. But at the end, it's not a joke. I could be their mother. It's stressful because I take a lot of responsibility for other people. I'm not used to that. When I was a rider or a driver, for sure it's my mistake, but now I feel very responsible for the riders, and it's a pleasure just to progress together, to see that it's working. It's coming up a real team from the mechanics up to every single person here inside, and the result is what we are living now, so it's very satisfying.
It was tougher for me. They immediately let Wagner open, and that's what I have to do tomorrow.
You have the mental strength. You can do it. A champion has to be able to do that. Talking to Stéphane, sometimes he opens specials that were unfavorable. But if you want to win, you have to go for it. You have to be sure of yourself. You showed that before.
I'm sure of myself in terms of navigation. It doesn't scare me to open.
And so to stage 11, the hardest of this Dakar, with 5 elite bikers in contention for the overall win.
For trying to fight for the victory.
I've worked for this to be on the top. 2 more days to get the job done.
As we know, the stage number 11 it will be the key of the race.
I think I will be on my own, but for sure I will give the best.
Well, the riders gathering for a body squeezer and a brain teaser of 346 kilometres. Among them was Kevin Benavides, whose engine broke yesterday. Under new Dakar regulations, the Argentine was able to ride again today, setting off in 33rd position. Well, it certainly wasn't a good day to be starting near the front, as Joan Barreda was set to discover lots of sand and dunes on the menu. Bang Bang was third into the stage after Toby Price and Luciano Benavides, and he later described it as one of the hardest that he has ever done. His bike got stuck at least 10 times in the soft sand, and he also crashed onto his sore collarbone at one point. All of that added up to 25 minutes lost, essentially ending his hopes of a first Dakar win. Barreda not the only one struggling up at the front, a dust shower for Price here. Looking back though, he was ultimately satisfied with his efforts. I'm happy because we gave 100%. That's Rally Raid. There were good days and bad days. The important thing is to give your maximum and to try to be as good as possible. Well, things started to go downhill for Adrian van Beveren from kilometre 4 when he took a while to find a waypoint. In fact, most of the riders struggled with that one. AVB was eventually put on the right path by his teammate Andy Short, but the damage was done. In spite of pushing hard, he still ended up losing 21.5 minutes. It is so tough to open in this sand. His rivals' various tactical manoeuvres yesterday paid off. I've got no regrets, except perhaps for that first waypoint where I lost 6 or 7 minutes. We'll see what happened there exactly, but you know, that's how it goes. Afterwards, I really gave it my all. I fell off twice and I rarely fall off, but I was going 200% the whole way. Well, this was one of the nice stories of the day, from one Frenchman to another. An impressive 8th place for Romain Dumontier. He's a former junior world champion in enduro, and he's riding his very first Dakar 25 years after his father. Cruising along a bit here with Daniel Nasiglia. Romain is 22nd overall and he's 3rd in Rally 2. No doubt about the top rookie of Dakar 2022, even if he had a bit of a scare yesterday. After a crash, Mason Klein is determined to take his time and make sure that he reaches the finish line. He also wants that top 10 finish, and he's on course for it in 9th, although a couple of old hands, Price and Stefan Zvitko, are breathing down his neck. Joaquim Rodriguez was one of the top performers on this fiendishly tricky stage. The hero rider had a tough day yesterday, caught up in memories of Paulo Gonçalves, but he put all of that to one side today and roared through the special, finishing 3rd. The Stage 3 winner was happy to secure another good result for his team. Now, Ricky Brabeck has been fighting an uphill battle since day one, in his own words, but the American's been steadily climbing the standings ever since, and he's now on course for a top 6 finish. He got held up at the early waypoint like so many riders, but he fought through the dust and the dunes to come 5th on the day. Ricky will be back, of course, and he's hoping for more soil and less sand in 2023. Well, Price is another former Dakar winner who went astray on Stage 1B, and he didn't have any fun opening today. The Aussie lost around half an hour and sounds like he's ready to go home. He hasn't actually been back to Australia for 6 months now. Well, those are the sacrifices that these guys have to make to battle for the Bedouin Trophy. And the man who lifted the title last year, Kevin Benavides, will wonder what might have been as he stormed to the Stage 11 victory. It did help to set off 33rd, but still, that engine failure may haunt him for the next couple of weeks and months. I'm very emotional after winning today's stage. I abandoned yesterday after my engine broke, and today I could see all the other guys fighting for victory. I could have been a part of that battle and showing my qualities, so it's very hard. Matthias Wagner really went for it today. The 2018 winner began back in 26th place after losing time in the closing stages yesterday. He was quickest at the first checkpoint, but then lost a few minutes in the middle part of the stage. Ultimately, a second Dakar victory may now be out of his reach. Wagner 4th on the day, but he has over 7 minutes to make up in tomorrow's short final stage.
I make a few mistakes, but I really try all day, pushing like hell. Finally was a good day for me, so let's see, and looking forward for last day tomorrow.
Pablo Quintanilla also went into this one all guns blazing, and though he was generally happy with the day, it wasn't enough to grab pole position for tomorrow. The Chilean made a small mistake with one waypoint and ended up over 7 minutes off the pace. He'll go into the final day 2nd overall, like in 2019 when he was chasing Toby Price and ended up breaking his ankle. He'll keep fighting all the way. The rally isn't over until we reach the finish line. So for me, the important thing is to stay focused and calm. Tomorrow I'll be pushing from the start, and if there are any navigation mistakes ahead, we'll be there, on the attack. We'll push until the final kilometre. This stage, though, was all about one man, Sam Sunderland. The British rider got turned around at the start just like everybody else, but he really made the difference over the dunes. This is a guy who moved to Dubai as a teenager, and he's been surfing the sand for many, many years. Even Brabeck admitted he couldn't keep pace with him today. Sunderland really putting the hammer down to recover the overall lead, He only missed the stage victory by 4 seconds. He won't mind though, because he's potentially 24 hours away from a second Dakar title.
The race is not done until you cross that checkered flag on the last day, so as we know, the navigation in this race is really difficult, so I'm just going to stay focused and keep doing my best, you know, that's all I can do, and the others will do what they will do, so yeah.
Benavides and Sunderland leading them in, followed by J-Rod, Wagner and 3 of the Hondas, Svitko rounding out the top 10. But here's the classification that matters. Sam leads Pablo by 6 minutes and 52 seconds with just 164 competitive kilometres remaining. The penultimate stage of Dakar 1987. There's set to be a grandstand finish in the bikes after a sensational battle between Hubert Auriol and Cyril Neveu. Auriol sets off with a lead of 9 minutes on a day that will go down in Dakar history. Neveu is the first to arrive and waits nervously for Auriol, but little does he know that his rival has suffered a serious crash 20 kilometres from the finish line.
I've broken both my ankles. I've broken both my ankles.
It was an amazing rally. We had a great fight with Cyril and he was stronger. I'm giving up motorbikes. That's all I have to say.
The emotions are raw as Auriol is forced to abandon, while a shell-shocked Neveu goes on to win his 5th and final Dakar. Another century, another continent, another French biker undone by ill fortune. Adrian van Beveren is leading Dakar 2018, and after some brilliant navigation on stage 10, he's set to put significant time into everybody but Matthias Wagner, but in a split second, it's all over. Just 3 kilometres from the finish line, the Yamaha rider crashes heavily, and try as he might, he is unable to get going again. Go easy, take it easy. With the adrenaline pumping, Van Beveren is desperate to continue, but his bike has been damaged. And the Frenchman is also damaged himself with a broken collarbone and damage to his thorax and spine. Eventually he's forced to accept defeat and abandon the rally.
We went from joy to tears in a split second because he did a perfect job with navigation today. He had a 50-minute lead on his rivals. I'd say the Dakar was reaching out to him. That's the rally. You have to accept it. He's okay, he's in good health, and that's the main thing. If one thing is certain in quads, reaching the finish will be some feat. 13 out. 7 hardy souls continue the fight on the penultimate stage, and a loop around Bisha is fraught with dune danger of all shapes and sizes. Abandoned on both previous Saudi visits, Colombia's sole representative is on a mission. Nicolas Robledo Serna has managed to avoid mechanical issues and injuries that marred his last participations. After the retirement of defending champion Manu Andújar, rookie Francisco Moreno has been flying the flag for Argentina. 2 podiums on the trot and further withdrawals saw him enter the top 3 overall. Moreno sitting behind second place Kamil Wisniewski, and instead of protecting his advantage, he ceded half of it. The pole now within 4 minutes into the final stage. Medeiros won't be the first Brazilian to win the Dakar, but racking up wins. A first adventure in the Saudi dunes. Stage 11 a tough test, but he passed with flying colours.
It was so difficult because I can't go too fast. It's so much slow and hard, so much dunes, and be so much tired. But I do okay. I finish okay. I didn't do anything wrong, so I'm here. Thank you.
Meanwhile, staying out of trouble, Alexandre Giroux safely home in 4th. 6 years after loans paid for his first Dakar adventure, the Frenchman just needs to arrive in Jeddah without a hitch to secure top spot on the podium, 25 years after his late father did the same. A stunning second week as Medeiros wins for the third time, Zdeněk Tuma impressing in 5th, and the Czech set to improve on 9th overall in 2020. Giroux set to join the quad crew, but as the first French champion, Moreno and Wisniewski poised to join him on the podium, but in which order?
Julien Hardy, team manager, Century Racing. Come, I'll show you the team, what we do. So we have 5 cars in the team this year, 2 other official Century Racing cars, and we also have 3 customer cars with us. Each car's got a chief mechanic, an assistant mechanic, and then we have specialists in the team. Like there's somebody that looks after the engine and the electronic system on the car. There is somebody that only does the shock absorbers, and we are very fortunate this year to have the gearbox people on site. They also come and inspect the gearboxes for us. So it takes us to roughly about 20 people in the team here, including the truck drivers and so on. This is our daily work list, all the things we have to go through with the mechanics to be sure that the car is ready for the next stage. This is our daily menu for each car. This is Marcel. He's our storekeeper. He's been packing and unpacking the truck every day. And without Marcel, it will just be chaos here because we wouldn't know where to find any parts. We have in excess of 300 different kind of parts in the truck, and all stored in different boxes and all numbered. Without him, it will be very complicated to find them. Some of the guys will sleep in tents. The drivers and navigators will sleep in camper cars there, the lucky ones. So this is our alley here with the campers and the tents, a little bit away from the car and the noise. We are fortunate to have this beautiful trailer this year, where we store most of the bodywork and all the tires and spare engines and so on. It's a lot of volume for us to store tires for 5 cars. It's usually a problem for small teams. We had to hire a private plane to take us here this year, Airbus A320. We had to air freight all the cars and all the spare parts you see around us here. It's been a serious logistics, took months to plan everything and to get everything sorted in time and all the permits and paperwork. But we are here, we're happy to be here, and we're happy to be part of the show.
The cars have a very daunting stage to get to grips with. Stage 11 is like the whole Dakar in a nutshell, with a lot of soft dunes. Now that's Henk Lattigan. Started and then stopped a few hundred meters into the stage, basically waiting to be a motorcade for rally leader teammate Nasser Al-Attiyah. Today would be a day for teamwork, high-speed chess, the teams using their drivers as pawns to ensure safe passage for their kings. Car 200 off the line, with the now customary sound of its electric launch. Into the arid, fast virgin territory for Stefan Petterhansel, whose reward for a stage win yesterday is opening the road today. The king becomes the road sweeper. Now the Audi team must be happy with their first Dakar this century, and bringing an electric powertrain to the desert has been a huge challenge, but the RSQ e-tron prototype has proved not just reliable, but very, very fast. 6th quickest today for Peter Hansel, but still 48th overall. Each of the 3 Audi cars has taken a stage win. Matthias Ekstrom, he's the rookie of the team despite his multiple titles in other disciplines, and it's appropriate enough that he should be in this project considering how many years the Swede was an Audi factory driver. Now he is on target to bring the team their highest position, finishing today in the top 10 overall and 3rd quickest on the stage. 2-time World Rally Champion and 3-time Dakar winner Carlos Sainz has wrestled this car over the dunes impressively. El Matador's overall hopes of victory were dashed on the opening weekend, with hours lost due to navigational errors. Another setback on stage 5 sealed their fate, but he keeps fighting. And today is rewarded for his tenacity with another stage win. That's a 4th stage win for Audi out of 11 on the debut for this brand new electric concept. It was a really difficult stage with a bit of everything. Not easy to navigate, we had camel grass, we had dunes. In terms of terrain, it was like the whole Dakar in one. Really hard, but I'm happy with my day. So that was Audi, and so to the Toyota team and Lucio Alvarez on his 8th Dakar. His best ever result for the Argentine was 5th 10 years ago. He was on target for a top 5 finish until stage 8 and now rebuilding. Impressive air, a strong stage, 2nd quickest time, benefiting from a low position on the start list. The 2009 Dakar winner Giniel de Villiers has had a very up and down Dakar 2022, and not just the majestic way he surfs the dunes in the Toyota Gazoo Hilux. A stage win, followed by a stage disaster, a penalty and a penalty overruled, and the overall outcome is a story of what could have been. The pace in the upgraded T1 Plus has been good, and the South African finishes the penultimate stage 5th quickest and 5th overall. Yazid Al-Raji has driven exactly the Dakar you'd want for your 8th attempt, using all his experience and a little sense of connection with the local terrain that comes from being a Saudi Arabia native. He and co-driver Michael Orr have largely avoided problems and avoided pushing unnecessarily, and since they reached 3rd position overall at the midway point last weekend, they've settled there, on target for Al-Raji's best ever finish, a Saudi on the podium in Saudi for the first time. Nasser Al-Attiyah has been leading the rally since the first short stage on New Year's Day, and despite only 2 stage wins, the Qatari legend and co-driver Mathieu Baumel have controlled this event from the front. With the support of the team, both mechanically back at base to make this Toyota as Dakar-proof as possible, and on the stage with the other Toyota drivers on hand as wingmen, the 33-minute gap to Loeb is big.
This was a difficult stage and not easy, because we think a lot, But okay, to lose only 4 minutes something, from Saab, it's nothing, and we are in good way, Tomorrow is a short stage. We need just to continue like this same pace, and it's very important to win this race.
Someone who would have liked to win this race is Nani Roma. Speaking before the rally, he remarked how, even on his 26th Dakar, what he loves is that every day he learns something new, and that's the appeal. The 2nd year in the BRX campaign, the 3rd year in Saudi Arabia, he continues to learn, and after losing many hours with a roaming wheel on stage 4, learning and helping the team is all the Spanish legend has been able to do, 4th quickest on this stage. Roma's new for 2022 teammate, Orly Terranova, is thriving in the BRX 3rd car, doing a great job for the team, testing the limits of the new evolution of the ProDrive Hunter. The Argentine looks set to seal his best ever result after 15 attempts, sitting in 4th overall, 9th quickest on the stage today, supporting the other BRX contingent. Solidly in 2nd overall and spearheading the BRX campaign is 9-time World Rally Champion Sebastian Loeb. Frequently fastest on the stages and gelling quickly with Serradori's former co-driver Fabien Lercan, but a navigation issue on stage 3 and a mechanical issue on stage 6 have kept the charging Frenchman from battling properly with Nasser Al-Attiyah for the win. Today, he was second quickest on the stage and took a few more minutes out of Nasser's lead, but then a speeding infringement has given the BRX crew a 5-minute penalty, which ironically undoes all their fast work. I believe we managed a good time because we pushed hard, but honestly, the Audis are too fast. We can't match them when they really push. Other than that, we drove well and fast. That penalty for Loeb drops him from second quickest to 8th, undoing any work he's done to catch Nasser, ending up behind him. The 3 factory teams equally represented in the top 10. Nasser Al-Attiyah is very much in pole position to win Dakar 2022, with only 1 stage left and a lead of more than half an hour.